I want you to cry into your Hello Kitty pillow. I want you to put your headphones on. I want you to listen to some Taylor Swift. And I want you to shake it off, you bland bitch.
What up, y'all? It's KB, the Section Ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber Universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. And we're talking about night 2 of WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. Ooh, Graves and Cole and commentary here at Allegiant Stadium. Oh my gosh, here we go, night 2. And I'm going to say this off the bat. I had so much fun with the show. I definitely was I was excited because I got to see the show live and let it soak in. And the whole day, you know, we went to the mall, you know, before we got snacks, we got wings, we got burgers, we got all the goods, man. That makes WrestleMania weekend awesome. And then we have Monday Night Raw tonight, which I'm very, very excited about. The attendance was far superior than the previous night. 55,255 fans here. And rightfully so. This had all the stuff that I really wanted. That I was really looking forward to. And yeah, lots of surprise. Well, one huge surprise. Well, we'll get into that because here comes Cena. And I love the transition from the night before because they had like that Mad Max style for night 1, the bullets, the tanks, and the towers. They still have the towers here, but you know. And then this one, they switched it and turned all blue, and it was just this like futuristic, you know, setting and whatnot as the graphics were showing for night 1 and night 2, and I loved it. I loved it. I was like, oh my gosh, now look at that now fresh, clean look for this night. Ooh, let's go, baby. And we started off with the match I've been looking forward to all week. And it's Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar. I was like, we can do this 2 ways, man. Either Oba just destroys Brock, or Brock keeps hitting Oba with a bunch of stuff and Oba's not going down. You know, either way, Oba's got to win, right? Right. And Oba looked like he was surprised. He was like, oh my God. Because after a massive, it wasn't even a crazy like 10, 15, 20-minute match. It did what it needed to do. It told a story that it needed to tell. And the mantle of the new ruler, maybe the new beast, taking over for Brock. And what I mean is, after this match happened, after Oba's like, oh, and like, just everyone's like, oh, holy crap. Oba Femi beat Brock Lesnar. And you were just like, okay, that's awesome. What's next for Brock? What's next for Brock Lesnar? I'll tell you what, dude. He started taking off his gloves. I was like, wait, what? Yeah. And then he started like taking his boots. He started getting emotional and started crying. I was like, wait, is he retiring? Holy shit, what? What am I witnessing right here? Oh, the emotions going through me, just like, is this it? Well, thank you, Brock. Holy hell. He just gave it all to Oba, like a true pro does in this business. And I know he loves this business. But man, I was flabbergasted. I was like, oh, I'm getting emotional, you know, and I know that behind he has a lot of crazy shit that's going on, you know, like some allegations and stuff like that. But it's just crazy to be like, whoa, Brock Lesnar has retired from the WWE, said his goodbye. Paul, he threw and Brock threw up that X, and Paul's like, this is real, and Paul started crying and all these emotions and stuff like that, and the crowd was like, thank you, Brock. And Brock just broke character, started slapping fans' hands, and was just like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is it. Because the rumor was for a while that Brock was going to be retired by Gunther at WrestleMania, not WrestleMania, at SummerSlam and Minneapolis, you know, his home. And I'm wondering if Brock's like, nah, I don't want to do that. You know, if I'm going to go out, and what I'm reading is he picked Oba. He said Oba is the one. And over Gunther. You know, that's interesting. Oba. And, yeah. And on the after show, Oba's talking. He's like, yeah, this is a huge one. But I told y'all, because I'm the ruler. And I did not lie. I destroyed Brock. Now it's my time. You know, and it's just like, damn. And it was just a crazy way to start the show. And this is the first hour on ESPN, so a lot of people are like, what the hell's going on? A lot's going on. Oh, man. And then to kick it off even further, we get Rusev versus Dragon versus Ray versus JD McDonough versus Penta and versus Javon Evans for the Intercontinental Championship in a ladder match. Oh, my gosh. And I got to sit here and watch this entire show with my kid, and it was really special. She never watches with me, but she wanted to watch tonight, and she was asking questions. I'm like, ask the questions, whatever. You know, I really want you to have this moment with me here. And we sat down, we watched the show, and she was like, oh, my God, in this ladder match. She was like, oh. I was like, what do you think? She goes, that's cool. That's awesome. I was like, yes, please. Come to the dark side. After everything's said and done and JD looked like he got murdered, Penta retains his Intercontinental Championship, which I was okay with. At first, I was like, Javon, you know, should be the one, but no. Let's keep the Penta momentum going and going forward. Then we go right into the United States Championship. Trick Willie with them lemon pepper steppers with Lil Yachty. Coming out, Trick's mama and papa are on the ringside. Oh, and that crowd, whoop that Trick. My kid was like, whoop that Trick. Whoop that Trick. That's what we want. That's what's going to happen. Sami Zayn comes out, boos. Some people cheered, you know. And I think the time for Sami going evil is the time. And it's going to happen. He's going to lose it tonight on Raw or SmackDown, either or. You know, we got a lot of aftermath to cover this week, but Trick Williams beat Sami Zayn, getting his first main championship here in WWE, and it's the United States Championship. He celebrates with his mom and dad, and I say well-deserved. Yeah, and Trick is a babyface. The crowd loves him. We love him. Them and them lemon pepper steppers, all of it. Trick Williams beat Sami Zayn, and then we pan to Sami right by the announce table, and he's like, I'm sad. We have sad Sami back. But sad Sami might be good for business. And it still should have been Trick and Mello. Just my opinion. But awesome match here, though. Then we go right into the Demon, Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio in a street fight, which they changed over for this match here because it's just like it's the Demon. You've got to have Dom have some advantage to try to take him out. Well, this was an awesome, fun match, but I agree with what Finn Balor says. I wish this was more. We knew the Demon was coming. It's been hinted, it's been teased, it's been this, it's been that, but they should have just let it naturally happen. You know, it should have just naturally fell into place, and then the surprise of the Demon coming out. But it is what it is, you know. But Balor does come out looking awesome. They got the confetti and they got everything. I mean, the ribbons, and he's looking great. The horns, and my kid's like, what the heck? She goes, that scared me. And Dom got a little scared too. And I was like, yeah. I go, but would it be so much cooler if Dom just thought he was facing Finn? And then it could have showed a little bit more of emotion of him being like, holy shit, who's this guy? You know, I didn't sign up for this. You know, that's I think that it should have been that way, even though we already knew it was coming. You know, it's just a weird wrestling thing. But Balor does beat Dom in this street fight, and I like to see what's next and around the corner for Finn Balor here. And then we go right into the Women's World Championship match, or Women's WWE Championship match. Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. I'm going to say this. Where the hell have you been, Jade? This was your best freaking match. And Rhea really took it to you, and you really took it to Rhea. And the finish was so clean. Oh my gosh. When Jade had her, then Rhea slipped right under her legs and boom, rip tied and everything. I was like, that is such a cool way to end this match. But of course you had Michin, you had B-Fab, trying to help, and then help Jade. Then here comes Io, and Rhea had Io written on her wrist and stuff like that. So she's like, she's with me, but then Io's here and helps, and Rhea Ripley is our champion again, looking awesome. She was on the after show, and she said, "Yeah," she goes, "I'm back, baby," and Io is her heart and soul. So this was a really, really fun match, and I got to take my hat off to Jade Cargill, because I think she shined very, very bright in this match. That's just me. Then we have Cena again. He's going to announce the attendance, which I said 55,255 fans here. And my wife's like, "Where's my Danhausen?" I was like, "Yeah, this is true. Where is Danhausen?" He was on the blimp. He was here, there, maybe there. He's on SmackDown. Where is Danhausen? Then here comes Miz and Kit, and I was like, "All right, babe, here's your Danhausen. You know he's coming out." Miz is demanding that he has this WrestleMania moment. Cena's like, go ahead. And here comes Little Housens. Yes, I'm not going to say the other word because I don't want to do that. But Cole sure did. And Grace was like, "Whoa, wait a minute, man. You can't use that word." And then Cole's like, "Well, they told me to say it." And I gotta say, giving up the Cole, man, like when Lil Yachty came out, he's like, "I know him. I hung out with him." Graves was like, "Okay, calm down." But man, the Little Housens come out. Danhausen's rolling in on his little car and everything. They go in there, and yeah, it's just a fun, good time. Cena's like, "What the hell is going on?" Kit Wilson calls the Little Housens toxic. They start pushing him. And Danhausen's like, "Attack!" Then one of them punches Kit Wilson in the balls. Kit Wilson goes down. Danhausen tells the Little Housens, "Dog pile!" Then here comes Miz. Then Miz gets cursed and taken out with the you can't housen me, And it hits him with, instead of the 5-knuckle shuffle, it's the 2-finger shuffle right into the eyeballs. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And Cena's just like, "That was awesome." It was great. It was fun. It was entertaining. Danhausen, nothing but love and respect to you. There was a really fun moment with Jade and Danhausen where Jade is like telling him to curse Rhea Ripley before their match. And Danhausen's like, "Well, you have a lot of money, right?" And they both come from AEW, which is sweet, So Danhausen, that was entertaining as hell. Cena, loved every minute of it. We loved every minute of it. Now, it's time for our main event. Punk versus Roman. This was everything. Oh my God. I didn't know who I was going for. When we originally went into this whole feud, I was like, damn, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. The build-up, fantastic. The back and forth. Controversial things said. "You're old. We'll bury you next to your dead father." It was just like, "I hate you. Oh, I hate you." It was just a matter of these two finally getting together. Roman getting back his old tribal chief music. Great entrance. Bum, 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 showing his family on the screen. And he comes out looking like $1,000,000, man. Ula Fala on. The aura is unbelievable. He comes out. One's in the sky, man. One's in the sky. Punk comes out to, I believe, a song's by AFI, what he used on Ring of Honor, and he wore a really great jacket, dedication to a lot of people. But man, I love what he did. He came out, they're showing all these pictures of his past and stuff like that. And then he comes out, screen's black, and comes down, and he comes in, and he's dressed in white, and he puts his hand down. And as soon as he says, "It's clobbering time," cold personality hits. And that place erupts. And I'm like, man, let's go. Let's go. And this is the best. This is the match of the weekend. Oh my gosh. As much as I love Cody and Randy, I thought Punk and Roman, it was two dudes who hated each other. No interferences. No weird interruption. None of this crazy, stuff that usually happens with these big type of matches. It was just two pros out there giving us one of the best fucking main events of WrestleMania of all time. Harkens back to Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25. This was awesome. Storytelling was great. Punk getting to the point to where he was so exhausted he couldn't take Roman out with the second go to sleep. Roman and his trash talking. Roman putting his hands up for the go to sleep. Punk exhausted himself, going through the elbow through the table to Roman. This was just awesome. It was awesome, awesome, awesome. Everything as a pro wrestling fan, this was everything. And it being on the biggest stage of them all, WrestleMania 42, Night 2, Punk main eventing, Punk saving wrestling, Roman looking great, saving wrestling, and after everything was said and done, Roman is your new world champion. This is his first time holding that title. That version of it, that title, yeah, and looking great. And my hat's off to Punk, lots of emotions. His adopted mom is there who took him in, and it's just a lot of emotions flying. And I was at the end of it, I was like, damn. Great entrances, great match, drama, story, everything I love about pro wrestling was in this match. And it is my match of the weekend, overall, and way beyond the night. Moment of the night, it just goes to the match itself with Brock and Oba. And then Brock retiring. Did not see that coming. Oh my gosh. And everything in between was just pure filling for my love of wrestling. It like everything started, like we got the sandwich, put all the goodness inside, but it's the two pieces of bread holding it all together. And Punk and Roman gave us, not cinema, they gave us wrestling at its finest. So 10 out of 5 for this night. It beats night 1. Yes, I'll say that. But that overall, I had a good time. And I'm trying to find a way to own WrestleMania 40 and 41 and 42 on Blu-ray for it to be in the physical collection. And because this night was very special. Far superior to WrestleMania 41. I'll say that. Yes, there was a lot of good stuff in WrestleMania 41. Cody and Cena was ass. That build-up was, but I think this WrestleMania is far superior to that WrestleMania, in my opinion. And that's it. That's all. WrestleMania has come and gone. Next is Backlash, May 19th. Then SummerSlam, August 1st and 2nd, a 2-nighter. Not a big fan of that, but okay. I think you should just do the 2 nights for WrestleMania. Just in my humble opinion, because I don't know. I think the 2 nights work for WrestleMania. And from what I'm reading, they want to do the 2 nights for Royal Rumble, Survivor Series. Of course, now they're doing it with SummerSlam. And then next year we have WrestleMania in Riyadh. It's just like, okay. But I had a good time. I had a great time here. Fantastic. Oh. But tell me what you thought of the show. Tell me what you thought about which one was your favorite night. Okay? Drop those comments below. Share with your grandma, share with your grandpa, share the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB the Sexy Ninja. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life.
No freaking way!